you don't really want to have a very rough start with your immigration journey here in Canada. So take a good look at the study permit you receive and the co-op work permit you receive at the same time to make sure there are no mistakes. For example, a big portion of our work would be providing immigration advising to our international students and also their family members.
Oh, okay.
And we all know that policies and regulations can change very fast, and it can be hard to comprehend. And so ask for help when you need it and ask for clarification.
Now, pivoting now back to your immigration journey, because now you support international students.
Right.
And you came to Canada from China. But what was your immigration journey like?
I gave up a career.
Yeah.
A successful one back home, and then now I'm in Canada. What do I do?
Yeah. This show is all about sharing the real, the raw, and the inspiring journeys of immigrants who have made Canada their home.
If you find value after watching this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to this channel.
Hello and welcome to our immigration stories as told by Canadian immigrants, live from the Media Hub on riotradio.ca. My first guest today is Dandan, and she is the lead international student advisor here at Durham College. And you are also a Canadian immigrant from China.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to dive into this conversation by first asking you, because I think that it's easy to know that, okay, there's an international student department, but what do they do? And you are an international student advisor. So if you could give me like a holistic idea, what do you do as an international student advisor?
Thank you for asking me this question, though. International student advisor, really, we work every day with international students very closely. And as an international student advisor, we also have our license on immigration. Like I am a RICIA, regulated immigration advisor for international students. So you can imagine like a big portion of our work would be providing immigration advising to our international students and also their family members.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But I have to be clear here because sometimes students want us to help them with their parents' visa and those kind of things. And that's beyond my scope.
Yes.
Because in IRCC's definition, family member really means your spouse and your dependent children. So yeah, that's immigration advising is a big part of our job. We also provide general support and advising because most of the times an international student would come to us as their first point of contact. And although we are not the experts on certain topics, we definitely know who we can connect them with.
Got it.
So this is the general support I'm talking about. So basically we work directly with international students.
Got it. And I did wonder about that because such similar to an RCIC who has to have a license, you are in a regulated profession as well to support students. Okay, perfect. And what does it look like from like a day-to-day perspective of supporting students, even like the emotional journey? Because I know that immigration is such an emotionally charged experience. So what is it like being in your shoes on a day-to-day basis interacting with students?
Well, we offer, we also have a colleague who is an RCIC. So there are 3 of us who are doing this job, ISA, and then 2 of us are RICIAs, and the third colleague is an RCIC, so who can provide like more advising on immigration, including PR.
Got it.
So a day like in our job would look like we provide support and resources. We connect with students online, by phone, in person, every day. So let's say a student comes in to our office, we always offer them a seat. Let's sit down. And chat. And let's hear your situation. Like you get to ask a lot of questions before you can do the advising. And advising is not like I advise you to do what. Advising is more of like, here are the options. And so you would make the choice based on your situation and what works best for you.
Got it.
In your scenario. So, and like that, and always we would welcome students to have a chat with us or a further discussion. Yeah, something like that. And over time, you would build a relationship.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel really good when I see a student, the name is in my mind, and I can say their name right there, and they can say my name. It just feels very special.
Nice. Awesome. And speaking of which, because like when I went, because I came as an international student as well, and I don't remember thinking of the international student department as a go-to place, because we were stressed out about, because it was an 8-month, it wasn't 8 months, it was 2 semesters, but because it was consecutive, we were like, oh my gosh, are we going to get an 8-month work permit or 1-year work permit? And it never really dawned on us that we can go to our international student department with these concerns or worries. So from my perspective, I know I underutilized the international student department, but is that true to your experience here at Durham College? Do you think it's underutilized? And what are like some of the common mistakes or lessons learned that you're seeing students making, or students can learn from, based on your experience interacting with students?
I would expect our students are very well aware of the supports they get from our office, because we did reach out to them. Like each cohort, even before they started with us, like we offer the channels online so that they can ask a question to our international office, and then we come together to provide an immediate answer right there. And then we did reach out via email, online webinars, to make them aware of the supports and the resources our office provide, or maybe we do in collaboration with other departments.
Right.
So I do believe that our students know where to find us and what we offer as an office. And I would say the common things, maybe one thing I would advise our students to do is when they cross the border, maybe take some time to look at the documentation they are given. Maybe at the airport, if you're flying here, because sometimes mistakes are made right there, and it can lead to consequences. And you don't really want to have a very rough start with your immigration journey here in Canada. So I would recommend take a good look at the study permit you receive, and maybe in some cases the co-op work permit you receive at the same time, to make sure there are no mistakes, for example, in your name, in the expiry date,
the DLI.
And there's an example that a girl came to me because she is from country A. And then, of course, she holds the passport of that country. And then she has this study permit, which she received at the airport, that says country B. So, and she had to do the amendment. But
she didn't realize there and then.
She didn't check at that spot. So at that moment, so then she had to go through the whole lengthy process to get the right permit. So that was not a pleasant experience.
Of course.
When you also have to juggle with a lot of other things at the beginning of your journey.
Got it. Well, that's really good advice, because I never really thought about that. And I think that recently I know of somebody who's the DLI number. So the campus itself has 2 DLIs, one for the English program, and then one for the college itself. And they incorrectly put the English program DLI on there. So she had to pause. She didn't realize until it was too late. So that's some really good tips right there. Well, perfect. Now, pivoting now back to your immigration journey, because now you support international students. And you came to Canada from China, not as an international student, but what was your immigration journey like?
So I was not I don't have the experience studying here as an international student, is because I came here on a work permit. Now I have the knowledge, and I know, looking back, I was on a spousal open work permit because my husband did a program here, and he got his post-graduation work permit, and so that's how I got mine. I had no clue back then, because I was not working. I was not studying when I arrived in Canada. I just trying to figure things out. I gave up a career, a successful one back home, and then now I'm in Canada. What do I do? So, it was. I was a bit lost at first, but then I also have some big goals in my mind. So I just need to adjust myself and try to focus on the moment and focus on what I want to achieve here in Canada and forget about the past. It's already behind me.
Right.
So, and then I started to learn how to drive. That's a big thing here in Canada, to be honest, because back home I didn't have to, because public transit honestly was very convenient.
Got it.
I learned how to drive. I applied for a program to study in downtown Toronto, and eventually I found my way. I didn't rush into anything and just finished one thing and then move on to my next goal.
Got it.
Yes.
And so then you came along with your husband who was studying, so you were a spouse. So eventually he was able to go through express entry. How did you guys get PR?
So we got PR.
Got it.
And right before I need to pay for my master program, so we became PR. We were lucky, so I paid as a domestic student.
Perfect.
So that's why I said I didn't go through that experience as an international student. I didn't need to have a study
but your
permit.
husband did.
Yes, he did. He had the whole experience.
Right.
Come here as an international student. Yes.
Got it. And you said that when you landed, you didn't realize that you were on a work permit.
No, I had no clue. I was like, I treat myself as a visitor.
Oh, interesting. Check your documents. Right? And then you did your master's here at University of Toronto. And then you finished. It was just about COVID.
Yes.
So now you are a domestic student, but you're still, new to Canada, relatively, new to the job market, right? So you're coming out of school, it's COVID time. What was it like easing into the job market now that you've done this program at U of T?
Okay, so it was not easy.
Yeah.
And like you said you were not like very well aware of the international services that when you were a student. I was not, I was probably too focused on my studies, and I didn't really look into the resources that's available, because U of T does have a lot to offer. So looking for jobs after graduation, like I was not that kind of person that I can do multiple things at the same time. Like I can study and I want to do a job, and I didn't think about job until I graduated.
Yeah.
And then I focused on looking for jobs, building up my resume, my cover letter, and it's all different from the things back home. And so I have to Canadianize those documents. And then I think I spent maybe 4 months looking for jobs, and then landed on something.
Yeah.
It was a Montessori school, which is close to where I live.
Right.
And then, like you said, I eventually started at Durham College in the education abroad role. Right before COVID started.
Of course.
And then
when the education abroad is all remote.
Yes. So, and I didn't get that much to do in my job after COVID hit us all.
Yeah.
So because the job was really sending students out to get their global learning experience, and then COVID was a big challenge back then.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Okay. And to get into the role that you wanted to, or how did networking play any role in trying to get jobs or to build your new life now here in Canada? Yeah.
You know what? I believe networking is important everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And especially for newcomers. Now you're in a new environment.
Yeah.
How do you get yourself out? You meet with new people. You go out and explore, and you introduce yourself. So that's how you get other people to know you.
Got it.
And so that's why, like, something we have created for our students is a program that's called Graduating International Student Experience, because maybe many times we're focusing on how we welcome students to be here in Canada.
Right.
Come here and we'll welcome you, we'll support you. And then when it comes to now it's time to transition out of the college, transition out of this post-secondary journey. What do I do? So that's why we have this program built for them. And through the program, we have an annual event.
Got it.
We call International Alumni Talks. And this is really a unique program. I'm very proud of that. So basically, we invite some international alumni who are now working professionals in Canada.
Got it.
Back on campus, and they share their experience graduating from Durham College and how they landed on their desired job in Canada.
That's good.
And also, and another part is that we also have invited community leaders. Then those can be business leaders, those can be employers, recruiters from the community. They also will be at the event, and there's a portion for our students to do networking with them.
Got it.
Speed networking.
Yes.
So that's,
I love that.
Yeah, that's how we create this opportunity to help our students to get a sense of what networking looks like and what you can maybe get from that experience.
Nice. Well, I like that. Well, hint, that's what's going on over here at Durham College. And so now you left from you studied a master's in education, right? And now you support international students. Was it some part of your journey that led you to this place to be supporting international students? Like, why did you choose to be an international student advisor?
Why do I choose to be an international student advisor? Although I don't have the experience here as an international student, but like you said,
well, you got to see a front row seats with your husband.
Yes. So that's why. And my husband actually did his program here at Durham College.
Oh, cool.
He has a lot of great things to say about Durham College. That's why I wanted to work here.
Yeah.
And to be honest, back home, I taught English.
Okay.
And now I'm living in an English-speaking country. It doesn't make sense for me to keep doing what I did back home. So I think maybe I should find a job in post-secondary.
Right.
Because post-secondary would have this support and administration where I can maybe play a role and contribute a little bit. And then also my supervisor, she's a wonderful woman. She has introduced this program to me. That's where I got to learn about I need to do this program for me to get my license in immigration.
Right. Because you moved through DC in a couple of roles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So I love it. I love what I do.
Awesome. And if you could give, so I know you gave us one good tip, like check your documents right at the airport. Don't leave that airport unless they're perfectly correct. Do you have any other, like, because right now the scene is changing, right?
Yeah.
Immigration is changing, the scene is changing. What practical tips or advice do you think that you would give to students, if you could give like 2 to 3 practical tips for them coming in? So this is for people who are now looking to study in Canada, or even international students that are right here, right now. How do you, one, navigate this changing landscape of immigration, but also coming out of school? What's that pathway?
I would say the number one tip would be connect with the supports you have on campus. For example, if it's immigration, and we all know that policies and regulations can change very fast, and it can be hard to comprehend. And so ask for help when you need it, and ask for clarification. Maybe we don't have the answers, but we can navigate this together with you. We can look at and read the website of IRCCS, and we can try to understand it together. So I would say definitely reach out to the supports that you have on campus, and just to make sure that you connect with them from the right beginning. For anything that you are not sure about.
Perfect.
That's the first tip. And second one, I would say it's do everything by the book. I would say, especially with immigration, and you want to be very mindful, be very cautious about the hours you can work when you're studying full time. Follow the rules, because you don't know down the road if anything will happen, and you just want to keep doing things, I would say, on a safer side, just to not get into any trouble. And always remember, you're here on a study permit. Study is your top priority. Yes. And because sometimes students may not be successful in a course or in multiple courses, and that also lead to immigration implications as well.
Yes.
Just if we are not talking about financial pieces, but it's just gonna be a lot of problems. So remember, you're here. You're a student, and you would need to 100% work your best on your studies. That's my second tip. And if I can give a third one, I would say be prepared. Winter here is very long. I feel like winter blue is real.
Yes.
I love the snow. I love how beautiful it is here, because back home we don't get snow at all.
Yeah.
Let's just say where I came from, we don't get snow at all. And it's just so amazing to see such a different winter here in Canada. It's a bit too long for me.
Yeah.
And then you have to learn probably some winter sports, yes. And then get out, still connect with people, and do something.
Yeah. Get out of your house.
And take vitamin D.
Yes. Yeah, I like you mentioned that, because in episode 2 we spoke about this thing I've coined called post-immigration stress disorder, and just the emotional toll of the immigration journey, and vitamin D is underestimated. Take it, right? So I'm going to ask you, what's one thing, just one thing, you wish you knew before coming to Canada, based on your journey?
One thing I wish I knew before I came to Canada would be...
Do you wish you knew you were on a work permit?
Probably no, because I was not prepared to work at that time. I did prepare to work after I was done my further studies here. One thing I wish I could knew is maybe I need to adjust my expectation of some processing times.
Okay.
Because in some part of my country, no, I shouldn't say that. Maybe since we do things sometimes too fast. Can I say that? Yes, well, we like to get things done fast and efficiently. So, and sometimes we need to adjust that we are in a new environment, and things can work differently. And then we don't need to always rush into things, and we need to respect, and there's a system, and always be patient. When you are waiting for things to happen, let's say, for example, an immigration exam. Yes, and it can take time. You book your appointment, you go to appointment, and then you wait for the result, and then the result will be sent to IRCC directly in most immigration application cases. And then don't feel like you have to know the result the next day. It doesn't always happen like that. You have to wait. Yes.
Okay.
Be patient.
Got it. Got it. Well, perfect. Like, I think you've given us lots of gems, lots of things that I don't think people were thinking about. Check your documents at the airport. Nice and kind. We are going to, I'm going to say thank you so much. I'm going to give you a gift. This is my journal, my Dear Self line. It's a journal. It has a blank table of contents, numbered pages, all of that stuff for you to doodle your thoughts. I appreciate you and the time you've taken to share with us today and share your story, in your immigration story right now. We are going to take a quick break, and right after the break we are going to hear from the international student graduate from Nigeria who studied in Canada using a student loan.
I had 90 days after my first program to do this, so I told my dad, hey, I don't know what to do. I felt like I had it all figured out. I was in a bad position after my first program. It was depressing at that point. I saw what others experienced with the 1 year permit. I had no money. I had nothing. At that point,